DNA Strand crew, to the newest episode of Stardom Situm Saturday, more specifically Week 13 Stardom Situm Saturday. I'm your host, TJ Blake. You can follow me over on Twitter at FFTJBlakeDNA. And as always for Stardom Situm Saturday, we're joined by the Dynasty DNA propaganda minister. He is the one on the Wisconsin-Minnesota line. It's my good friend, Justin Tessier, better known as Teixeira. You can follow him over on Twitter at Teixeira91. Teixeira, I know Thanksgiving, it was a nice time for all of us to eat with the families. I know the Lions disappointed you, but we got some good things ahead. I still think the Lions will make the playoffs. I know you're a little bit different, but I do think they make it, and we'll see what they can do for there. Maybe they get back on track. What do you think before we open up the show?
I certainly hope so, but I'm just going to say the wind is taken out of my sail. The excitement's gone. I just want to see the standards met and the expectations met now. I'm not all hyped on them. I'm not all like, ooh, rah, like we're division winners and this, that, and the other thing. I think that hoopla from last year clearly been pushed off my dinner table now, and I'm more into like, let's shut up and show up and just finish the season out the best they can and get it done, or fucking accept what this is and move on to next season. But my one guy showed up this weekend already that I'm so happy about. Everybody, welcome to this time of the year. It's Toyota-thon, Jordan Love season. Isn't it glorious?
Yes, Jordan Love showed up, and so did your other guy, Kyle Monangai, the guy that you said. I give you credit. You were really early on him saying go get him, and that was really good advice. Looking good, that Bears rushing attack. Bob said it. Got to run the ball to be successful. It's looking that way. But the questions are going to be coming in. The chat is open, and welcome to anybody who'd like to post in there for Stardom Situm Saturday. Teixeira, let's start it off while we await some people to ask some questions here for Week 13. We'll start with the quarterbacks like we always do. Quarterback, you're going to start here in Week 13. Who you pulling the trigger on this week?
I really like this week Justin Herbert at home going up against these Las Vegas Raiders. I think this is low-hanging fruit. This is slim pickings, and this is easy money to make if you're placing your bets or any prop player bets over there on our Dabble Fantasy app using our DNA code DNA4. I like him to get over 250 passing yards this week, over 2+ touchdowns to the air. And I think that he has a ceiling of 26 points and a floor of 20 points against these Las Vegas Raiders. I think this is going to be a pass-happy attack. I like what he has to present because, again, we're going to be without Amari and Hampton. He hasn't been cleared yet to go. And then Kamani Vidal is still battling a nagging injury. He's not 100%, so I feel like that running game is going to be a little bit hampered and hindered. And if this game is relatively close at the beginning, I could see it be a pass-friendly, pass-heavy game, and I like the higher ceiling of a Justin Herbert playing the easy matchup in games that we need to get to the playoffs. And if you rely on him, smash him, start him up there. And in super flex leagues, he's definitely a quarterback too. I have him as a quarterback 1.
I love it. Man, yeah, you couldn't have said it any better. So I agree with you, Justin Herbert. But, I'm glad you brought him up because he is a guy that I think people get like upset with. We talk about like how, and I know he does it, but how players goose you in fantasy football and people always pivot off that right away. Like you can't get frustrated. I mean, he is one of your horses, like you said, especially in Superflex. You got to ride him. I like the Justin Herbert call out. We do have some questions coming in, so we'll start answering those. Sport Zone 76. Hi all. Hi Sport Zone. How are you doing this evening?
Hello.
Hope you're doing well. And then we have our good friend here. It is Country Boy Jazz asking 12-man PPR. Start who? 1 quarterback, 2 running back, 2 receiver, 1 tight end, 1 flex. Quarterback is Purdy Mahomes. And then we have Mahomes played. Okay, so Purdy. And then CMC, Jones, Walker, Benson, Rodriguez, wide receiver Chris Olave, Alec Pierce, Jawan Jennings, Terry, Godwin. Tight ends are Barner, Walker, Rams D, or Bucks D. So Teixeira, let's go ahead and we'll start with, we're going to have to go with Purdy. No doubt about it, one quarterback, right? Unless Mahomes already played and he had him in. So I guess that's answered no matter what. I hope
he did.
Yeah, that's answered no matter what. But let's go ahead and talk about some running backs here. So we got to start 2 RBs. Who are you starting out of that group there that he has for us?
I'm going to smash CMC as my running back one. I know it's bad weather game going in Cleveland once again, so be wary, guys, with your other assets everywhere else, that there's going to be a mix of snow and rain, very cold weather, so it could be a run-heavy game script for both sides of that game from both teams. So I'm going to stick with CMC there. I'm fading Aaron Jones this week against that Seattle Seahawks defense in Seattle. That is a really tough matchup for them, going on a backup quarterback on the road. I don't like the odds of a ceiling game for Aaron Jones. He might provide a floor being the support for Max Brosmer and that offense, but I think he's really capped. And for that, this feels disgusting to say. I'm going to go with Rodriguez, even though he's playing the Broncos on Sunday night. They are at home. He's getting the lead back carries from what I'm hearing out of Washington. He's going to have the majority of the carries there. He's a short yardage goal line back, so you're hoping he falls in the end zone once if they're able to get in close and work some magic with Mariota. And Benson, he's back on the IR again. He's not going to be playing this week. They're hoping for him next week to start most people's fantasy playoffs. That would be nice. But again, we've preached it, TG, on this show. We're not relying on the Arizona Cardinals running game in any sort of fashion, fantasy, or even going into our playoffs. They're just not reliable options. That's a pass-heavy team with a great pass attack right now. And you all know what Kenneth Walker is with us. I mean, even though they're playing the Vikings at home, I think this could be a Sam Darnold revenge game. He's throwing it all over. JSN has a ceiling game. And that's why I'm also going to pick Barner here as the tight end, because I feel like it could be a little bit pass happier of a game, moving the ball through the air, and more so than the run game. As far as wide receivers go, I'm going to go with Diggs, and I think Olave, if he's healthy. Last I saw, he was on the injury report. I don't know what it was with or how serious it is, but that matchup against the Dolphins is too juicy for me to pass up over those other guys.
And Olave is questionable. So
okay. If he doesn't play, I go Godwin.
Okay, so go ahead and give me your list real quick to share. Just run it all down. You're gonna go CMC and Rodriguez, right?
Yep.
And you're gonna go Olave, and you're gonna go with the other receiver who?
Diggs.
Okay, and then tight end Barner, and then which defense?
I'm gonna go with the Rams defense.
Okay, so I'm gonna go with CMC for short, the running back one spot. Absolutely. And believe it or not, I hate it, but I'm going to go with Kenneth Walker because I know why I do not like Kenneth Walker, but in some scenarios, you don't have a choice, right? And he's kind of in this situation where you don't have a choice. And believe me, I have a couple rosters where I have to play him too. So I'm going to go with Walker, CMC at the running back spots. Rivers, I'm going to go with Chris Olave, and I'm going to go as well. And I'm also going to go with AJ Barner, and I'm going to go with the Rams. So the only difference that you and I have is Kenneth Walker and Chris Rodriguez. But I mean, like I had said, I hate Kenneth Walker. I hate even putting him in my lineup. But, Chris Olave, let me just do this real quick. You see that right up there? Oh, yeah. There we go. In the studio, sign Chris Olave in the shadow box. So, Chris Olave, I'm glad we got to bring him up on the first question there. So, that's who we're going to go with, Country Boy Jazz, in that scenario. Everything's the same except for Teixeira says Rodriguez at running back 2. And I say, hey, let's go ahead and throw in Kenneth Walker at running back 2 and CMC at running back 1. But we're going to the next question here on the list. He says, sorry for the double post. Don't worry about it, Country Boy Jazz.
No problem. Thanks for tuning in with us again. We appreciate it.
Yeah, we got you covered. Jenner asked, hopefully you guys had a great Thanksgiving. Hope you did as well, Jenner.
Yes, we did.
Hopefully you did as well.
Jenner.
Thanks for the show. No, thank you for tuning in. What are you guys thinking about JMO now that St. Brown could miss a couple weeks? Is he an auto start? Well, Teixeira, you know the Detroit Lions better than anybody. Go ahead and talk about that a little bit.
I think he is a must start now. I don't think he's a questionable flex guy or wide receiver 3 guy. I think necessity with Sam Laporta out, St. Brown missing now a couple weeks. Brock Wright isn't the answer in offense. Tom Kenny was a nice flash, but behind there is not enough receiving options to keep Goff sustainable fantasy for these next couple weeks outside of Jahmyr Gibbs and Jamison Williams. Those are the 2 receiving options I think you're really relying on. I think he's got a low wide receiver 1, high wide receiver 2 upside. in that Detroit offense because they're going to be playing teams coming up in the schedule. They're going to have to be pass heavy. They're going to have to rely on him to be able to be the deep threat and the deep passing option in that offense, and to be that that quick hitter and that take it to the house guy. Because I think the recipe for success for these Lions, we've seen it all season up to this point, but it's going to be highly emphasized now. And I know defenses are going to plan against it, but they're going to have to smack people in the mouth with these big plays. I don't think that the recipe of success going forward is just these little, like how he did in 2023 and 24 of like just grinding it down the field, just grinding it with the running game. That O-line is too shaky. I mean, that's the only worry I have with JMO is if Goff isn't able enough time to get him the ball, as well as him just catching the damn thing. Cough, cough, fourth down, way to go, buddy. Yeah, I like him going forward just because I think this team is going to have to throw the ball if they want to win games. And with St. Brown out, he's going to have to fill that target volume, and that's a big chunk of the pie that he's going to be getting.
Absolutely. And sometimes players just become a necessity. Like it just happens, right? It gets thrown on people. Like I've always looked at him more as one of the best ball guys you'd want no matter what. But like in a scenario like this, I do think he's good enough where, I mean, he could easily be a 12-point automatic floor now just based off what's out. So, yeah, I think that's the way we feel about it, Jenner. So I do think that if you have JMO, things should get a little bit better from him just out of necessity, right? As Teixeira said. And I think they will hunt some of them big plays. Dog, I'm scared with Jetta. Should I start Michael Wilson over him? So, oh, man, there's a question for you, Teixeira. J-Dog, you know, Justin Jefferson's been through the – would you consider playing Michael Wilson over Justin Jefferson at this point, as bad as it's been?
Absolutely. I'm going NBA Jam rules. I'm not worried about Harrison Jr. coming back. I know he's going to probably play, it sounds like, but even if he does, I'm going with the hot hands of Brissett and Wilson. They got a connection going on. They got a rapport. He's getting, I don't know, damn near close to 30 targets in these last two games, and I'll take that just alone for the volume, regardless of what production he might do against this Buccaneers defense, because Jefferson's not quarterback proof this season. We've got a huge sample size already. It's just, it's scary going into Seattle on the road with a backup quarterback in his first start. I think this is a recipe for disaster, and I think that for your going into your fantasy playoffs, this is a tough pill to swallow, but I think you're going to have to sit Jefferson this week and play Michael Wilson. As crazy on paper and on your screen as that looks, I just think that the patterns and the trends are what we have to rely and go off of here. And I like what I'm seeing of Wilson, and I'm not happy with what I've seen with Jefferson. I do think Jefferson's the better talent, obviously, but I don't think in this scenario that talent wins out. I think opportunity and situation is better off, and I think Wilson has the upper hand there.
Yeah, I will say I do agree with everything Teixeira said. Like Jacoby Brissett really likes going to him. I don't feel comfortable with Justin Jefferson in the situation he's really in either. Marvin Harrison Jr.'s back. That will make me just hesitate just a little bit, right? Because it's like, how much is he going to play? But I do think at this point I'm going to go with Michael Wilson and see what happens. I tend to agree with you, Teixeira. So I'm with you on that. As hard as it is, I think that's to be on the table. So we have JC Reyes asking, hey, fellas. Hey, JC. Which tight end do I start? Half Gadsden versus Vegas, or Strange at Tennessee? Chargers defense versus Vegas, or Cleveland versus San Francisco? So let's start with the tight ends here, Teixeira. Who are you going to play at the tight end spot for him this week? Go ahead, and we'll start there first.
Might be strange thing for me, but I'm going to go with Strange against Tennessee. I like the rapport he's having here with Trevor Lawrence. I know Brian Thomas Jr. is going to be back. Jacoby Myers is doing well in his stead, and Parker Washington's been a PPR machine. But that safety blanket, that tight end position for Trevor Lawrence is always a valuable asset and a piece in that offense for fantasy purposes. And I like him getting into the end zone this week. I think he's going to have a solid floor game for you, where I think Gadsden might get a little bit game scripted out or lost in the wash with these other wide receivers there. And I could see Justin Herbert being more focused in on them. than the tight end position because the Raiders, oddly enough, have played the tight end position a little bit tougher on the opposite side of the ball than these wide receivers. So in that aspect, I'm going to go with Strange against Tennessee.
Tough matchups. I think I'm going to lean Gadsden here just because the matchups are very similar in my eyes. I do, like we said, I mean, I think Brian Thomas Jr. is back, like we talked about, right? So he's going to be available. That's another weapon going in there to Jacksonville, a team that's predominantly had a lot more success running the ball. Like, I just think it's too touchdown or bust for me for Strange, right? Like, I think there's more outs with Gadsden, but like at the same token, this is very, very close. So I mean, I couldn't blame anybody for going. So like the fact that you said it in my head, I'm like, well, that's not a bad explanation either. But I think for me, I'm going to lean Gadsden for JC. So we're a little bit different. Very oddly enough, we're not
to give JC a little bit more context too of what our prescription for lineups going through this year on the Stardom Cinema shows and the Dynasty DNA Fantasy Football Network is, if you can, start Gadsden in your tight end spot. And if you don't have a better option or a questionable option in your flex spot, I don't mind throwing Strange there too if you start Gadsden.
Right, absolutely. I mean, we talk about that flex 2 tight ends if you have to. Hasn't been a bad result for this year if you have a really questionable player there. 2 subscribers, guys, we appreciate that. More than you know, we're going to keep on rolling here. Good luck as far as that tight end play goes. But for JC, he wants to know about the defense as well. Chargers versus Vegas or Cleveland versus San Francisco? Who are you going to play there for defense for JC to share?
I'm going to smash the Chargers defense despite the bad weather in Cleveland and that sort of low-scoring game script. I just think that Geno Smith is too hot of a turnover machine to pass up on for your defenses. I think it's just a smash matchup, and his mistake-prone ability is just too juicy of a matchup to pass up. I think it's a lot safer because I think that the 49ers is a more competent offense to put up points on the board than the flukiness of the Raiders.
I agree. Didn't even have to say anything else. And San Fran scares me, right? Like, San Fran's a team that can do some damage if they play their best game. So yes, I'm going to go with the Chargers as well for JC. So I'm going Gadsden in the Chargers. Teixeira's going Strange in the Chargers. JC, hopefully that helped you. We have Steven asking Bucky, Wandale, Michael Wilson, Tet, Troy Franklin, pick 3, half PPR. Now this is half PPR. And we see you, Country Boy Jazz. I forgot your flex again. We'll get to you next. I always do that to him.
Where's Bob?
I always do that to him. I always forget. Bob's always yelling at me for that. But we will get to you back in a second, our friend.
Yeah,
but,
we'll be back.
Steven needs 3, half PPR. He is questionable. It's on the thing down here. I don't know if that is your opinion, but go ahead.
It kind of changed my opinion, but I'm going with the hot hands here. I'm starting with confidence of these 3. Wandale Robinson, I love what damage he was able to do with Jameis Winston against the Lions last week. Even though it was a loss, I think that he can challenge and put a threat in the eyes of that Patriots defense. I don't know if he'll get the Christian Gonzalez shadow because Slayton is expected to play, I believe, and he's technically their one wide receiver, so that plays in his favor if that happens. Then 2, I like starting Michael Wilson for all the things we laid out earlier in the previous question. Hot hand with Brissett, soft matchup against the Buccaneers. Just keep rolling with those guys. And then my 3rd, I'm not scared off by the Rams defense. I like this alpha in his offense. I think he's Bryce's go-to guy. I'm going King Tet as my 3rd.
King Tet, I like it. So yes, I agree with you, Teixeira. Wandale, Michael Wilson, and Tet for me as well. But I will say, see what happens with Tampa Bay. Like, if Bucky Irving plays for sure and Baker Mayfield plays for sure, maybe I would swap Michael Wilson if Marvin Harrison's playing.
I could see that too. Yeah.
If Marvin Harrison's playing, I would maybe consider swapping Michael Wilson for Bucky Irving if the whole Tampa Bay offense is playing. But that'd be the only way. Outside of that, I agree with what you said. So, as of it sits with non-injury related news for Steven, we're going to go Wandale, Michael Wilson, and Tet. I agree with Teixeira there. Now let's get Country Boy Jazz his flex here. Man, oh man, I'm terrible about missing that flex. So, okay, Teixeira, any kind of flex for you? Would you consider Kenneth Walker? I know I put him as my RB2. Would that be one of them receivers instead?
You kind of talked me closer to the ledge with Walker, but I'm still smelling sewage there. Act,
It is sewage, no doubt about it. I mean, it's just like this. But it sucks. You have to play
I
him
think
sometimes,
so
right? I mean,
because
like, I just have no
I
choice.
think
But
so in the flex, just because I don't like what I saw with Godwin his first game back. I know it was the first game back, but his snap count was awful. His usage was awful. I think he got like a couple targets only, and yeah, with Bucky coming back too, I think it's going to be a slimmer part of the pie still for him. I would like to pivot to Godwin, but I think that the usage with Walker is just you can't pass that up, and it stinks. I'll put the clothespin on the nose and just absorb it up and put him in my flex.
yeah, absolutely. So the Commanders' backfield. So you went with Chris Rodriguez
Yep.
for sure, getting the start 100%. Like he's the guy for sure.
That's
They're
what
gonna
I'm
be
getting out of. Yeah, that's what I'm getting. I think they're really fading JCM. They are disappointed in the opportunities he's giving, the sort of production he's been putting out there.
Right.
They're going to be using him as more of the change of pace back, like just to switch it up on drives and just provide some sort of juice. Where the clear goal to goal short yardage guy has been Chris Rodriguez. He's working on I think 2 or 3 game touchdown streak currently on, and those are all short yardage, close to the goal line stuff. And I think he's their third down hammer as well, not the passing down back. So that's where JCM would come in. So I think just the snap share and the opportunity volume is going to be more in Chris Rodriguez's favor than JCM. And they've talked about even sprinkling a lot more McNichols. I know he's been like a odd fantasy asset to have in the past,
Right.
but like he's shown that he has a role in that offense.
Right. So yeah, I'm with you. So you're going to put Walker in the flex. I'll put Rodriguez in the flex. So our lineups match up identically.
Yeah.
Right? Like I think that's the way we would do it. I think all the players we said for Country Boy Jazz, I think that's who we're going to play. Right. So we're going to go with that. We're going to put Rodriguez and Walker in the running back and flex spot and see what happens. But we have Hashhead saying, "What's up, boys? Best of luck this week." Best of luck to you. Thank you for tuning in.
Welcome.
We love to have you with us. And Bob says, how many QBs are getting replaced next season? Quite a few, possibly, Bob. But you are the retread guy, so
I'm going to entertain the chat here, and I'll be like 6'7", maybe.
There you go. Going back to the triple threat episode where Mike got me on that. What an a-hole. But anyhow, Hashhead asks, thoughts on picking Breece Hall this week over my bench wide receivers, Marvin Harrison Jr., Deebo Samuel, Michael Pittman. Also, if Olave doesn't play, pick one receiver and one flex out of those 3, full PPR, leaning Deebo over Pittman. So there you go, Teixeira. Would you consider picking Breece Hall over Marvin Harrison Jr., Deebo Samuel, or Michael Pittman this week? Would that be on your mind at all, first of all?
Oh, man. I am definitely putting Breece Hall in my flex. I'm not going to try to spoil anything later on. Keep tuning in to find out what I feel about Breece Hall, but I like him in the flex spot this week. I am very worried about Michael Pittman now with the news of Daniel Jones and that fracture that he's got, but they're expecting him still to play. That Houston Texans defense is for real. It is legitimate. It is sticky. It is stingy, and it does not give a lot of fantasy points away to opposing teams' wide receivers. I love the man. He's got your jacket, but I'm leaning in some of my matchups where I can. I'm putting him on the bench this week. I'm like what you've pitched for Marvin Harrison Jr. if he does play. So that would be my one wide receiver to start. And I think I would flex Breece Hall because I'm just out on the Deebo Samuel thing. I know he's there of necessity, but I think if he gets a Surtain shadow against Denver, I think that really hinders his fantasy ceiling.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. It's something that you have to consider, right? I mean, that's something that, like with the quarterback play of the Colts, I mean, that's really what unlocked Michael Pittman again.
Yep.
And it is a concern because if Anthony Richardson comes in, I mean, we know what
Oh
traditionally
no.
happens. It could be a nightmare,
Oh
but
no.
but in the matchup is tough. I think Debo like could get the opportunity of some garbage time. Like I'm not a big Debo guy either, but he has really been their number one target. I mean, Zach Ertz gets touchdowns and things like that, but he's been as far as like the dangerous player they have from a fantasy standpoint.
I know it's kind of
So
sacrilege,
I think I
TJ,
agree
but
with you.
I have Debo higher in my rankings this week than Michael Pittman after
Oh,
the Daniel
I mean,
Jones
just
news came
because
out.
right. Just because of the quarterback
Mm-hmm.
stuff, I mean, I can't blame you, right? Like, I mean, I love the player. Sometimes it just isn't their fault,
Yeah.
and that's where we're at. But you look at this, though, like for Hash Head here, like Marvin Harrison, we
Yep.
talked about it. Does he play? Doesn't he play? You know, Chris Olave, he mentioned him. If Olave doesn't play, like maybe then you could put Brees Hall in just
Yeah.
because you have to, right? Sometimes that works
Then if that's
itself
the
out.
case, then
So I have
Debo
no
would be the
problem
wide
doing that.
receiver, and Brees would still be the flex if Harrison isn't able to go. I don't like the matchup
Yeah.
with Pittman, so yeah, it kind of moving parts there.
Yeah. So then he says, and what does he say here? Olave doesn't play. Pick one receiver and one flex out of these three full PPR. So if you had to pick one receiver or one flex out of them three guys, them three wideouts, who are you picking to share?
Debo for the wide receiver, and they'll flex Brees over those wide receivers.
Yeah. I agree with you. That's where I'd be at. That's exactly where I'd be at. I got to play Brees this week against Atlanta. I'm with you there. So we have, and
I
that's a
love
good
it, Hash.
question,
Thank you.
Hashhead. Thank you for that. We have Pro King asking start Michael Wilson or Jalen Warren this week. Okay, so we have Jalen Warren going up against the Buffalo Bills, and we have Michael Wilson going up against Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So who are you starting there, Teixeira?
There's my Bob finger. And only if Marvin Harrison plays, I'm going Jalen Warren or Michael Wilson. If Harrison is out and does not play, I'm going Michael Wilson over Jalen Warren.
Okay, so that is a good way to explain it. And look, I don't hate that either. And I think I'm with you. I think that if Marvin Harrison is in, I would probably play Jalen Warren as well. If he's out, I think I would play Michael Wilson. So that's where we're at, Pro King. Watch and see what happens with Marvin Harrison. I think I would go that way. I think that's exactly to do it. Hashhead said, if I had to, because I think Terry has Surtain on him and Debo is more open for slot cross routes. Absolutely.
Terry's back?
Absolutely. And, you know, Debo, yeah, it's looking like he's going to be back this week. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Well, then,
from what I understand.
Debo. I think that, yeah.
Well, that's what I said. We had him in our lineup. Like I can't take him out. I mean, he's even manufactured touches. Debo's great. I mean, he's a great manufactured touch guy. Even Jenner says, "Thanks for all the help as always, guys. How are we feeling about Abuka after a rough 2 games and Baker being banged up?" No problem, Jenner. We appreciate you tuning in. We'd love to have you. We appreciate the questions, and we'll always be here to do these throughout the weeks of fantasy and fantasy playoffs. But you know, honestly, as far as like if this is a redraft league, I don't have a good feeling about it. I really don't, just because the Buccaneers are a team that are just going down like flies. You know, if this is dynasty, like I love the long term of Abuka, Baker Mayfield, you're fine. But man, oh man, like we see guys come on late. You know, we see guys come on late. So, excuse me. My thing is, you know, when they come on late, you know, it's like the bell goes off. I mean, sometimes it just happens, and then people fade off. Like they start off hot early, fade away, you know, and then we see guys like Jonathan Taylor did it last year. We're seeing it with Chase Brown right now. And these guys could be league winners, but right now it just seems like Tampa Bay boats, the sail isn't blowing anymore, right? So that's a problem. So, I mean, I am worried because of the injuries, and they can't keep this team healthy. Now their quarterback's banged up. So, I mean, if it's a redraft league, I'm on probably a scale of 7 to 10. I'm probably a 7, right? I mean, 1 to 10, I'm on a 7. So I'm worried about what they can do down the stretch. I don't know how you feel, Teixeira.
I'm right in the same boat with you in redraft. I'm at a 7. I'm seriously concerned about if I can be able to confidently rely upon him in my wide receiver 2. no longer a wide receiver 1 at this point. I'm talking wide receiver 2 redraft or even flexing him, because based on matchups, I think I'm choosing other options over him because of the health of the quarterback, and just the vibe of this team, this momentum. It really feels like the sails that have been deflated, and this ship is just kind of afloat at the sea, just trying to make it to putter through this poor division. And until that changes, which we could maybe see as the season gets towards the end, a little bit of momentum that, but right now I have probably 60-40 confident to not confident in him going forward rest of the season. But in Dynasty, if trades are still available, I'm buying low. I'm taking the dip if I can. I'm going to get any piece of that bucket of pie and Ibuka as I can.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I mean, like long term, it's fine, but I just don't like when my quarterback's banged up. All my weapons have been banged up. Like it just isn't good, and that really is a concern. Hopefully, they can get it fixed and they can get it straightened back out, because these guys are good enough. You could have league winners, no doubt, in them if they get it straightened out. Hashhead asks, but I think I'd go Brees and Harris Jr. if Olave is out.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I have no problem with that. Yeah, absolutely. I have no problem with that. I do hope Olave plays, though, because he's another guy that he could be a league winner just based off of production. All this volume.
He's playing the Dolphins.
Oh, yeah, and he gets that volume, which is amazing right now in the Saints, because that's all they have. So we have J-Dog asking, is R.J. Harvey a must-start? So there you go, Sheriff. Where is Mike at? He's an R.J. Harvey big dog. So where are you at with R.J. Harvey here? Is he a must-start against the Washington Commanders in your eyes this week, Teixeira?
Bias cap is off. Boop. I think that R.J. Harvey is subjectively a must-flex option this week. I don't think he's a must-start at running back. I think Jaleel McLaughlin is going to have his role at the goal line and in short yardage, and now on some passing downs to spell R.J. Harvey. I think that R.J. Harvey is a change of pace, kind of like a quick hitter, pop him on drives. I think he's got these burst plays and can have, like, for this week, I think I see him as having a floor of 10 points and a ceiling of 16, just because of the matchup against a poor defense and the inconsistencies at quarterback with Bo Nix and that throwing attack, that they could rely a little bit more on opportunities with the running game. So if I had him in the flex spot, boom, pop him in as a must flex. And the running back 2 spot, I would say, J-Dog, try to find a better option if you can. If you can't, then I think that he's a good spot to be put in your RB2 spot as necessary.
Right, and look, I mean, he's definitely going to get the lion's share of this work. And I like what you said, more of like he's a definite, I'd love to have him in my flex, because like I think no matter what, just because the matchup's so good and the share of work that he's going to have, he's probably good for 10 points no matter what.
Yes.
Like I really think he's at least good for that. But like the big thing is with R.J. Harvey is, like you said, what does Sean Payton do with like all the schemes? Who's he bringing in and out? Are they having more success throwing the football than they are running it? And 2, he's a guy that could be one of them big play bop off type of guys. Like, does he break one, right? Like if he breaks one, then you could have a huge game out of him. But he's a guy that, like, if I have like some of these elite backs right now, like Jonathan Taylor, Derrick Henry, these people, like I can't take them out for, R.J. Harvey.
I got a closer one for you. Yeah, go finish, DJ. Go ahead.
No. If I have a spot in the flex, like you said, I will play him, no doubt.
I was going to say, for your second running back option, if you had the choice between Bucky Irvin or Jalen Warren or R.J. Harvey, like sort of that area of options, say that's like what he's battling with for RB2, hypothetically.
R.J. Harvey at that point. I would play him over them guys. Because like Warren, I think Buffalo is really be in a foul mood, and they could probably smack the Steelers around. And they have traditionally lately, so I don't like that. And, Bucky Irvin coming back from the injury, we just don't know what to expect, right? I mean, like he could be, only limited. They have other guys they can run. They just don't have to feed him the ball 70 times. So, like in an instance like that, I'll play R.J. Harvey in a good matchup, and we'll see what happens. But it's fickle. It's fickle because he's that kind of guy that could just pull your underwear up over your head and give you an atomic wedgie. Because it happens, man. I mean, like he is that type of player, like Xavier Worthy, like we see it. But like I think
best volley guy.
Yeah, but I think, like you said, in the flex scenario, you got to give him a nod at some point. I'm with you on that. So We
He
have
gave us
Alex.
context.
Okay, so what did he say there?
Should I do Michael Wilson at flex, my wide receiver 2, and RJ Harvey on my flex?
No, that isn't him. He said,
Oh,
oh, yeah. So should I do Michael Wilson at my wide receiver 2 and RJ Harvey on my flex while Jefferson on my
yeah,
bench?
I would do that.
Yeah. Yep, I have no problem with that.
And then his other RBs are Kyron and Travion. See, yeah, definitely flex Harvey.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's what we need to do. Alex says, need to sit one of these in PPR. Rico Dwaddle, Stephon Diggs, Lab McConkey, Wandale Robinson. So there you go. Need to sit one in full PPR to share. Who you sitting down for Alex there out of that group of Studley players?
Oh, man, he's got good problems, man.
Yeah, he does.
Way to go, Alex. I'm gonna go.
I'll tell you what. I mean, this is very, very.
You
tough.
help me out here because I'm on the fence on a couple guys here. Talk me on the ledge on one of them.
I mean, as much as I love him, I have to sit down Rico Dwaddle here. He's going up against the Rams defense. I mean, this defense is a nasty, nasty defense. Like, I just think that he could just be a 10-point guy this week at best, right? Like, I mean,
because we saw what he did with Tucker last week. He totally erased that 3-touchdown performance and made him
made him irrelevant. Yeah, so, and it's full PPR. Give me the wide receivers for Alex. Give me Diggs, give me McConkey, and give me Wandale in full PPR.
Yeah.
I love Rico, but seeing where his lineup is, that's what
I was on the fence there because I'm like, he could, but yeah, you're right.
Okay, so we are going with the receivers for you, Alex, and we'll sit Rico Dwaddle as much as it pains us because we all love him. Hopefully in Dynasty, everyone bought him for them pair of socks. But we have Fighting Solves Everything, a good friend of ours.
Yeah, boy.
Herbert Burrow, CMC, JT, QJ, Woody, Monty, Travion, Brian Robinson, Puka, Tet, Higgins, Franklin, Tyler Warren, Brock Bowers, 2-2-2, running back, wide receiver, tight end, flex. Lineup recommendation for this week, if you will. I'm thinking of using Franklin as wide receiver 2 and flexing Henderson. So there you go, Teixeira. If you had to build a lineup there and you had to throw it together for them, what are you looking at? What are you going to do right now? Go ahead. I'll let you start.
I will use my method of madness I did this week. I sat Burrow, so I'm going to go Herbert. I think if he didn't play Burrow by now, he's going to have to play Herbert as his quarterback. Then my 2 running backs were going to be CMC and they're going to be JT. I mean, you've got to play your studs. I know they're bad matchups and, questionable situations, but those are your 2 good guys right there. So then going to wide receivers, starting 2 of them, I'm going to start Puka Nacua as a smash, and I'm going to stick with King Tut there as a second wide receiver. Then as my tight end, I'm going to start Tyler Warren over Brock Bowers. And for my flex this week, I'm going to go with Travion Henderson in the flex spot.
Okay, interesting. So you're going to sit Franklin, right? That's where you're going to go with that?
Yes, I'm going to sit. And if you guys have been watching before, I'm kind of biased. I'm announced my out on the Denver offense overall.
Right, and I mean, but we talked. I mean, he is a guy that is a touchdown scorer, and he's
so best-bally to me. He just feels like that, just Marvin Mims-ish. Same team, but like he just seems like splash plays or nothing.
Yeah, but like I agree with what you said about Travion, though. I mean, like flex Travion has to be in there going up against the guy. I mean, he has to be. So like I like your lineup exactly how it is. I think that's exactly how I would play it for fighting. I think that's exactly the right route I would go, and you nailed a lot of the same thoughts I have, Teixeira. So, and one more flex spot. So
one more flex?
Yeah, so if you do have one more flex, I will play Franklin in the flex.
This week.
Going up against Washington. Absolutely. I mean, that's a good matchup. And that's the thing, right?
Yeah. I like his matchup better than Bowers, and that's insane to say this late in the year. We'd even have that there, but that's just the state of things.
Yeah, state of the quarterback room with the Vegas Raiders.
Damn it.
So, I think that fighting, that's exactly the lineup I'd have that Teixeira said, and we would put Franklin in that second flex. I think that's the route we would go. So I'm with you on that. So we have Hashhead saying, let's make this less complicated if I can. One
All right,
wide
man.
receiver one and one flex full PPR out of Brees, Olave, Harrison Jr., Pittman, Debo, and who if Olave's out and who if Olave and Harrison out. So, okay. He said,
Okay.
thanks. Okay, no problem. So there you go, Teixeira. Very easy. One wide receiver,
Yep.
one flex full PPR out of Brees, Olave, Harrison Jr., Pittman, Debo. And we'll go with that first, and then we'll talk about hypotheticals if Olave's out and if Harrison's out.
Yep. So, one wide receiver, Harrison Jr., one flex, Brees Hall.
Okay. I think I have to agree with you. I think I have to agree with you on that. So I'm with you, Teixeira. Now, like, if Olave is out, what would you do in that instance then?
I think I would pivot to Debo Samuel in at wide receiver and keep Brees in the flex.
Okay. If Olave and Harrison are out, both, then what would you do?
I think I would stick with Debo on that one, just by lack of other options.
I mean, I think I tend to agree with you. He said, appreciate it, boys. Thanks for the insight. No, thank you.
Hell yeah, Hash.
That's exactly what I'd play it to share. I think that's the way I would do it as well for him. Hopefully that works, right? Hopefully that goes well. Sports Zone says, I feel like Harrison is back. He could be limited. Wilson still could be a good start. Oh, he definitely could be. But, you know, we got to remember, though, it is Michael Wilson. I mean, he's played very well. I'm really happy. He's a guy that I liked low-key for a long time. But my big question is, you know, what happens whenever maybe Arizona struggles a little bit, too? What happens if Marvin Harrison gets 4 of those targets, right? I mean, it could take away a touchdown opportunity. It could take away anything. So it limits more. I think it's just like, I love Michael Wilson, but it's been so much high volume going his way. Like the one game, I think Bob said it, he was targeted like 18 times. Like, it was insane.
That's
how many times he was targeted. I mean, I might be a little hypothetical on that number, but it was high.
Well,
I know
it was a lot because he finished wide receiver one back-to-back weeks. Like,
yep. So we have Chandler tuning in here. Flex PPR, Kenneth Gainwell, Devin Neal, Brian Thomas Jr., Michael Wilson for the Cards. Currently have him BTJ. He probably gets me 3 points, but could be persuaded.
Man.
Yeah, but could be persuaded to play Gainwell, who is out touching Warren, or Wilson. But scared how that looks with Marv back. Neal is a good spot, but no idea how that looks. Thoughts, PPR league. Thanks. So
we'll help you out here, Chandler.
Yeah, flex PPR there, Teixeira. Would you consider putting in Kenneth Gainwell over Brian Thomas Jr. or Michael Wilson over Brian Thomas Jr. this week? Is that something you'd have on your bingo card?
I think I would start both those guys over Brian Thomas Jr. this week. I know he's the jacket holder and everything, but this year it just kind of seems more of a lost year, which isn't in short term. Yes, it sucks first in redraft, but in Dynasty, let's just get this out of the way this year, have the bad year, come back next year, stronger, better, faster than ever, and more productive. I think that Gainwell and Wilson are the better plays this week than BTJ.
Yeah, and I mean, look, it's oddly enough with Gainwell, right? I mean, it's been back-to-back really good games. Another good matchup here. My only big question is, can the Steelers keep it close enough against Buffalo, right? Like, that's my worry. Like, there could be garbage time there.
So in that sense, I would do Michael Wilson over Gainwell.
Right, so you'd rather go with Michael Wilson over Gainwell. Like, that's your first choice. You go with Michael Wilson.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I mean, look, I definitely want to see what happens with Marvin Harrison Jr. If he is out, I'm for sure going Michael Wilson. No doubt about it. But, I mean, look, Gainwell is a guy that it's been great. I just don't know if I could trust him to do it 3 times in a row. And like,
that's a lot.
Yeah, and if Aaron Rodgers comes back injured, how effective is he going to be? We don't. I mean, I know that Broderick Jones is out. I mean, he is terrible, but our backups are probably even worse at the left tackle position.
Worse than Jones?
It could be. It definitely could be because our offensive line is bad. But I mean, and another thing is too, Buffalo is a team. Like, I know it looks good on paper, but like they have to win. They have to win. I mean, they have to win. So I just feel like that could be a little bit of a trap. I think for me, it's Brian Thomas Jr. unless Michael Wilson is there, and he's definitely the number 1 target. I'm for sure going Michael Wilson. Then it becomes more coin flippy to me, but I still think I lean Michael Wilson just because I can't take him out with Jacoby Brissett, who has been targeting him. So There you go, Chandler. I think Michael Wilson is the guy I would really look at.
That's
But make sure to see what happens with Marvin Harrison Jr. there. I think that's something we got to watch out for. Hash says, yeah, that's my worry about Harrison as well. It's one zone. Wilson has the hot hand and good relationship with Brissett. I mean, definitely, but you got to
true.
remember that is true. But it's kind of out of necessity right now. I mean, who else is there on the
He
outside?
did look good
Right?
though when he was healthy with Brissett. They did throw. They have
Yeah,
that touchdown? So
yeah, that's what I mean. I just think Jacoby is a better thrower
he's
outside
a
the numbers
baller.
than he's a better thrower outside the numbers than what Kyler Murray is right now.
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, he just is. I mean, he's more of that pocket passer, and
I
that's boding well for the pass catchers outside of the tight end position.
I have a question for chat tonight. Where do you think what happens with Kyler Murray after this year? I'm curious. You know how we feel if you've been watching the show. What do you guys feel?
Yeah, I'd be calling the Jets if I'm the Cardinals, man. No doubt
You
about that. I've been saying that. So we have Paul saying here, good morning. Good morning, Paul. Hope
Good
you're
morning,
doing
Paul.
well. Full PPR. It's full PPR.
Ooh.
Kyron or Brees Hall. So there you go. Brees Hall in the matchup against Atlanta. Or are you going to go with Kyron Williams here to Shara? Who are you going to play this week?
These guys are really close to my rankings. They're right in the same tier. It's razor's edge, but if it's that close in these matchups, I'm going to line up with my ride or die. I'm going to go Brees Hall, but I like both of these guys. If I could start them, I would try to, but I'm going to go with Brees Hall. I like the matchup against the Falcons a lot better. Carolina, respectively, has been playing well against the run and been playing more of a feistier defense, but at the same time, I like the pass catching ability upside that Brees Hall brings in his matchup and having opportunity to score points in that direction, where I feel like Kyron Williams is a high volume and touchdown dependent option there.
Well, let me say this. I don't have any ill will, even though Kyron Williams cost me $40.
He still owes you money.
Yeah, he cost me a $40 bet, and he owes me $150 because I was going to win that bet. He fumbled on the 1 yard line against San Francisco. But look, I think I got to go Kyron Williams here because Carolina is 30th against running backs. They are getting just taking their lunch.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah, I mean, the numbers might be good as far as maybe total yards they're giving up.
Okay.
But I don't know if it's reception based, touchdowns, whatever. But they are a green light matchup in the fantasy world. And then in that case, I tend to lean with the better offense, right? I trust the Rams more than I trust the Jets. So
I'm a little glazed with my Brees Hall love.
It's okay because I love Brees Hall too, but I got to go with Kyron. So we got one Kyron, one Brees for you, Paul. So we're split on that one. We have Coolio. Yo, what's up, Coolio? We're doing good. Hope you're doing good, man. Just checking in.
Hope you're doing good, man.
At Coolio's mom's for birthday dinner. Oh, if it's your mom's birthday, tell her we said happy birthday, my friend.
He also had a birthday this week, too. I want everyone to wish Coolio a happy birthday in the chat. Turn the big 5-0.
He's a good egg, let me tell you. So hopefully you're having a good night there, Coolio. J-Dog says, so should I do Michael Wilson at my wide receiver 2 and R.J. Harvey on my flex while Jefferson on the bench? Oh, we talked about this. Yes. Yep. Yeah, we already confirmed that. And we already got that one done for him. Jenner asks, I only get to keep 2 players, so Ibuka probably won't make the cut at this rate. I might have to start J-Mo next week if he has another stinker. Are you guys high on Waller from Miami? I stashed him. So what do you think about, let's just go back here. So he'll keep 2 players, so Ibuka probably won't make the cut at this rate. I might have to start J-Mo next week if he has another stinker. So, I mean, look, depending on how your league is, I don't know, if you have to cut players loose or whatever, how it works. But if this is a keeper league, longer term, I feel like if this is a keeper league or something, Ibuka will be fine. It's just getting this offense back on its feet again, and they're banged up right now. But in the short term, it definitely is a concern. And Jameson Williams is going to see a ton of volume outside of them running backs. Really, he could be the guy for the next 2 or 3 weeks. But I will say, and you know this to share, Amon-Ra St. Brown's a tough cookie. I wouldn't be surprised if he's not back sooner than people
because
think.
he's a fighter. He wants these guys to win, and he'll do whatever he can to be in that position to do so.
Yep. Yeah, I agree. And then he asks, are we high on Waller from Miami? I stashed him. How do you feel about Waller now with the Dolphins to share? Because he was almost a good for a touchdown a game there for a while. Do you still think he could have some substance if he comes back.
Over some of these tight end options going into our fantasy playoffs, I will say by definition, I am higher on Waller than I was before his injury and through his injury. I like his fantasy playoff schedule with the Dolphins. I like his red zone target threat that he showed when he was healthy when he came back because he was scoring touchdowns. So I like his opportunity for volume, just battling between Waddle there. It just really falls on Tua's shoulders. Which Tua are we going to get? But their fantasy playoffs, the Dolphins, is green light, very juicy. So I like playing him the rest of the season if I can, if I don't have better options at my tight end.
Yeah, I think that's just it. If you don't have anybody else, it's a good stash, right? I mean, he could be someone that could have those touchdowns. So I can agree with that. So Coolio putting Marvin Harrison Jr. in his lineup
If
tomorrow,
healthy.
starting Brissett. Yeah. Yeah, if he's healthy, I will play
Yep.
him, Coolio. Yes, I will. I have confidence if he's available. We got to try to ride our studs sometimes. It's a good matchup. Dave asks, start one, sit the rest, full PPR. Need wide receiver 2 and a flex start out of these names: Michael Wilson, Rico Dwaddle, Brian Thomas Jr., Devin Neal, and it looks like Jaden Higgins, full PPR. So who are you going to start? You need a wide receiver 2 and a flex.
Okay, so my wide receiver 2 is going to be Michael Wilson if Marvin Harrison is out. Or if he's out. But if he's in, I will consider Brian Thomas Jr. over Michael Wilson. But just for a simple answer, Michael Wilson is my wide receiver 2, and my flex is Devin Neal.
Ooh,
I love the pass catching ability. He has no competition in that backfield right now. He's got the trust of Tyler Shuck as the short to intermediate routes out of the backfield, and he's got a juicy matchup in warm weather against the Miami Dolphins this week. He could be a sneaky flex play this week.
Okay, so if it's me, I'm going to play Michael Wilson and Brian Thomas Jr. Right? Them are the two guys that I'm going to play. I got to play my big guy. So, and then he said, I also have Sutton. I think he said, let me just scroll down and see. My bad, fellas. Out of those names, I also have Sutton.
Okay.
So Cortland Sutton's in on that too. So would that change your opinion at all? I still think I'm going to go with Wilson and Brian Thomas Jr.
Yeah, I would go Michael Wilson and still Devin Neal. Sutton doesn't move the needle for me.
No, me either. It's been a rough season for him, man. It's definitely not looked good. Really, this whole Denver offense has been too inconsistent. So there you go, Dave. On that one, I think that we were in agreement for Michael Wilson to be in one of them spots, and then I say Brian Thomas Jr. Teixeira says Devin Neal, and it is full PPR. He also asked, if Warren doesn't start, who would you start? I have Pitts on the bench and Waller on IR, Helm also on waiver. So if Warren doesn't start, who would you start? I have Pitts on the bench and Waller on IR, Helm on the waiver. So basically it's down to, would you start if Waller doesn't play? Let's just assume that he doesn't play. Would you start Pitts or would you start Helm? And then if Waller plays, would you start him?
I think I would. I think I'll go. Damn. I don't think I can start Helm just yet. There's not enough volume there. And it's a bad offense. So I like to try to keep Pitts on the bench as much as possible. But if Warren doesn't play and Waller's on IR, I think you have to play.
Well, Waller's questionable, so he has been activated. But the question is he going to play for sure? And what can you expect?
I'm at the point where I would play a questionable Waller over their starting Pitts. That's where I'm at.
Oh, Bob would be proud of you, Teixeira. So, but the matchup is a little bit tougher. Kyle Pitts, though, has been so disappointing and even good.
I just don't like Kirk Cousins
situations. I'll tell you what, though, Kirk looked okay. I mean, he looked all right. He didn't do bad. He didn't do as bad as Penix did. I mean, it was about the same.
That's true.
So, I mean, let me just say this, though. I agree with you. I think I got to play Waller if he plays. If he doesn't play and Warren's out, you almost have to play Pitts at that point. I just don't trust Garner Helm enough. But I do think Tyler
Yeah, I
Warren will
think
be available.
yeah.
I have a good feeling. I mean, you got to watch it. I mean, I don't know that for sure. He's questionable, but I have a good feeling
I
about
think
it.
we missed
So,
a flex spot
and
for fighting, it looks like. He
oh, did
says
we?
one more flex spot.
One more flex spot. Okay, so we got to go back up. Let's see what we have here. Okay, so you got to play. Well, we said Troy
Yeah,
Franklin.
yeah, okay,
Remember,
so
we
yeah.
solved that.
Well,
Yep. Yeah, we solved that. So let's see here. Okay, we got to go to the next one here, and we have Coolio who says that he's leaving. Got to go. You guys rock. Enjoy the
hell yeah.
foosball tomorrow. You too, Coolio. And we have fighting. What is the best pairing for Week 13? Only JSN Strange
Oh,
or McBride Shakir. So if you had to pair a group of those, who's the better pairing? JSN, Brent Strange, Trey McBride,
I
Khalil
gotta take the
Shakir.
best player out of here. I gotta go JSN. As much of a fall off I'm getting with Strange over McBride, like I can't come off of JSN. Like it's just he's inferno mode right now. He's so hot.
Yeah, it's hard to take him out of your lineup for sure. And Tampa Bay's actually been playing tight
Yep.
ends pretty well. So, I mean, you got to take that into consideration. So, yeah, I think I agree with you. I think I got to lean JSN Strange just because JSN's
Yeah.
so good. I got to have I
I
got
do
to
love
have him no
Shakir
matter
though.
what.
I do love him.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean it could be a scenario where JSN gets 28 points, Strange gets 3 and McBride gets 12 and Shakir gets like
Yeah.
14 and
That's
it
how I
evens
see that
itself
playing out
out.
too.
So, yeah, absolutely. Dave says, my bad,
Yep.
fellas. Okay, that was Sutton. We got that one. So, Jenner, I have Gadsden and Loveland, but I think I want to cut Loveland to hang on to Waller. I have limited bench spots in my league, and he just come off IR, so I got to make a decision by Tuesday. So, there you go, Tashare. Would you cut Colston Loveland right now for Darren
All right.
Waller?
I'm gonna go heart to heart with you here, Jenner. I hate the Bears. But at the same time, you can't cut Loveland. All right. He's playing well with Caleb Williams. He's getting in the end zone. He's finding targets in that offense despite the different shares of the pie. As appealing as Waller's rest of season goes in fantasy playoffs, and it would be nice to roster him, I don't think you could sacrifice Loveland to add him onto your roster and be successful in your fantasy playoffs. So as much as I hate to say it, hold on to Loveland, even start Loveland, and keep Waller off if that's what you have to do to try to get Waller on. If you could have a lesser player elsewhere, like a wide receiver 4 or 5, or a running back that's on IR or not performing well, I would do that for your tight end. But I keep Loveland.
Yeah, I agree. And he's seeing a ton of volume. Thing is with Waller, it's basically touchdown or bust. Like, really, that's what you're hoping for. Like, if you don't get it, you're definitely going to get a 4 to 6 point game,
Yep.
probably something like that. Loveland's starting to see the targets, man. I mean, even in a tough matchup against the Eagles, he still produced 8 points, which isn't terrible. I mean, that's about as hard as a matchup as you could have asked for, and he still did okay. I mean, these last couple weeks, he's been coming on more and more. The snap share is going up, which is a good sign. Give me the more volume guy in Colston Loveland. I like Waller, but too, you're talking about the Miami Dolphins. You're talking about the injury-plagued seasons he's had. You know, you just got to be a little bit careful. So, Hashhead says, fighting solves everything. JSN by himself over the other. That's what we said. Over the other two, Strange is just a bonus. I agree. He nailed that, just like we talked about. JSN's amazing. Jenner says, with my league, it's a 2-man keeper, and then we redraft the rest. My candidates are CMC, Achan, Pickens, Egbuka, Henderson, Chase Brown, and Devontae Adams. So it's a 2-man keeper, and then they redraft the rest. So so there's what it is to share. So does that sway you any different in your opinion on Egbuka, considering that's how his league is?
Yeah, I mean, he's got to be the sacrificial lamb, I think. I mean, how well before Pickens exploded, I would say Pickens would be the one, but like he's come on of late and he's playing like a rock star. So
yeah, that's even what Hash says, Achan and Pickens, and I have to agree. I mean, it's just tough. It's very tough. CMC old and
you're
injury
not
prone.
wrong.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I love I love CMC, but he's been healthy this season, knock on
Mm-hmm.
wood. Next season it could be a whole nother story. So we appreciate it, guys. Thanks for all the questions. We got through a big
Yeah, I like
chunk
that.
of them there. If you guys have any more, keep them coming. We're going to talk about some more players here. And thank you to the new subscribers. That so
Thank
helps, and we
you.
so appreciate that, guys. Thank you. So let's get into it, Teixeira. Here we go. I'm going to go into my quarterback start here this week. And, it was just like I was planning this out. I had this guy on my radar. He's back for his first game. I got to go with him in a while. Give me Jackson Dart here going up against New England this
Okay.
week. I really like Jackson Dart. I think this could be a shootout-y type game. I like what he might be able to bring to the table, even coming off injury. Wan'Dale Robinson moved the ball up and down the field with this offense. Really a nice little thing they're building with New York. Hopefully they keep it going. But I think Jackson Dart could be a guy, if you have some injuries, if you're down quarterbacks like a Jaden Daniels, he's a guy this week I think could get you 22, 24 points and be able to steady the ship for you. Always provides that rushing upside with the throwing, and I like that as well.
Yes, you do. But do you think, though, with Dart coming back in the offense, that mixes up with the flow of Wan'Dale Robinson and Theo Johnson after coming off of Winston, that pass-happy game? Like, do you think they still have volume and opportunity even if Dart's running around?
Yeah, it might be more consolidated to just Wan'Dale or
Okay.
Theo for a game. They're going to take a hit because I'm sorry, there's only one Jameis Winston, right? Like we know
Mm-hmm.
what he does, and like he's not nothing special from an NFL perspective, but from a fantasy perspective, he really can put up the numbers, right? So this is
Absolutely.
something that can be a little bit of an adjustment here. So we have fighting ass flex one Harvey Kittle, Franklin Gainwell. Ooh, there were some tough
What?
options there for fighting. You got a or Walker, he says. So you got a flex one Harvey Kittle, Franklin Gainwell, or Walker.
Um, I think I'm gonna flex Harvey in this one just because I would love to do Kittle, but the weather is concerning me. And the Cleveland defense, when in bad weather games, plays a lot stiffer and a lot harder. And it's harder to move that ball down the field. And where Kittle eats is in the red zone and in the end zone. And I feel like if the 49ers bust plays and break the team down that way, I think it's a lot harder for Kittle to find the end zone this weekend. Otherwise, I really would love to play him. I just like Harvey in that flex spot. I think he's better than Franklin and all the things you laid out for Gainwell. I think it's just a lot easier path to have that floor of 10 points coming from him than one of those other two guys. And sadly, I think Kittle could get close to that, but I'm just really worried about that game, just as far as fantasy pieces and all around.
Yeah, and I can't blame you, right? Like, but to me, I'm going to start my best player. I got to keep George Kittle
Okay.
Skittles. I got to keep George Kittle Skittles in there because, like, my thing is, I know it's a little tougher matchup, but Cleveland can be a little suspect at times. Like, they can be a little Jekyll and
Mm-hmm.
Hyde on defense. And the thing is, man, like, this guy, tight end 8, tight end 2, 2, 6, like, he has been just rolling. So it's just hard for me to, like, if he was on a downslope, kind of like what we've
True.
seen, like when we were talking
Mm-hmm.
about some of these other players, I might hesitate more. I just think I got to go with him there. But you going with Harvey, the matchup's really good. It's just, can he get loose for a big touchdown? What's the
Yeah.
snap share look
I'm
like?
banking
That's
on the matchup and like a
yeah,
breakaway touchdown is what I'm banking on.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So Jenner says CMC's old, but he produces a lot of points. Absolutely, he does. But you just hope he can stay healthy. That's the big thing. If I can win 2 years back to back, I'll take some down years. There you go. It's nice when you're on a
Yeah.
roll. Let me say that. It's nice when you're rolling like that. So we have hash defense special teams for the rest of the season. Seattle, Rams, Browns. He already has Seattle. Would you make a change, or do you think you're going to stay with the Seahawks rest of the season there, Teixeira?
I don't know what their rest of season schedules look like, but hot take here, I'm going with the Rams rest of season. I think I'm with you, TJ. I think they take that division, and I think their defense plays a lot better. And I like that pass rush they have, and that secondary is coming on. I think for fantasy wise, they've been more takeaway splashy, and as far as like keeping teams like down in the yardage, I like the argument for both. I could see they're in the same tier, but I prefer the Rams over Seattle. I don't hate people going Seattle over LA, but I'm vibing with LA over Seattle right now.
Yeah, so the Rams have the Lions, the Seahawks, and the Falcons in the playoffs.
Ooh.
That's who the Rams would have. So
So
it's
they
a
play
little,
each other. That's spicy.
yeah.
So who do the Seahawks play? And they both play each other once.
So
So you got the
Seattle will have the Colts, the Rams, and the Panthers. So that being said, I think that I agree with you. I think I would rather risk it on the Rams. And they are a team that I feel like's a little bit better equipped, like they're used to be in this position. So I think I'm with you. Give me the Rams on that. That's a tough question, though. I mean, Seattle, if you held them, I don't think there's a wrong answer. It could work. It could work itself to be out about even because defense
Mhm.
is such a fickle thing, right? I mean, one fluke pass tip and they run a touchdown back, that gets you a ton of points. Like that could
Mhm.
happen for anybody, right? But I mean, I think if you ask me who do I have more faith in, I'd probably say the
Mhm.
Rams, though. I'm with you, Teixeira. So we have Fighting says, you guys are awesome. Love the enthusiasm and knowledge. Now, we appreciate you. Love having you guys here. Like I
You
said,
bring
all
it
the
out of
new.
us. We love it.
Yep. I mean, he's been with us for a while, Fighting. Good friend of ours. All the new subscribers, thank you. Like you said, subscribe today, first time watcher, Hash. No, thank you. We
We
appreciate
love
that,
you,
my friend.
Hash.
Yeah, we're happy to have you with us, and we talk about everything. Even if you don't have a fantasy question, if
Yeah.
you guys have another question, want to talk about the week, whatever, we love talking football. The door's always open, and can't wait to do it. Tomorrow will be the Dynasty DNA morning show. We'll be
Tune
back
into our
around.
morning show. If you love this, you will love our morning show. You got Wiz and Slim going at it, and we got our NFL pick'ems. It's a great time right before the games start.
Absolutely. So here we go. I gave you my quarterback as we await some more people to roll in and ask some questions. Running back, you're starting this week to Shara. Who do you have?
You inspired me that I'm going with my guy, ride or die, Brees Hall. I got him going over 75 rushing yards this week. I'm going to have him going for what I have written down, at least one rushing touchdown and one receiving touchdown against these Falcons. I have a ceiling of 26 points for my boy Brees, and I have a floor of 18. The reason being is if that receiving touchdown doesn't hit, there's 6 or 7 points there that comes out of his fluctuation. I think he finishes guaranteed in the running back, not one overall, but he finishes as a running back one this week in fantasy, and I like his matchup against the Falcons at home in New Jersey at MetLife Stadium. That's the route I'm going with my running back start.
Okay, and you're sticking to your colors. You're going with your guy. I like
Yep.
that. So I'm going to go with a guy that I have, and it's going to be Travion Henderson going up against the New York Giants. Look, I mean, I think that this could be a game where he could really absolutely blow up. We talk about kind of long touchdowns, this and that. I think Travion's more than capable in a game like this. I think he could be a really good, maybe potential league winner for you this week. So definitely love me some Travion Henderson. I'm going to say a floor of 14. I'm going to say a ceiling of 25. I think he could get there, and I think he could visit the end zone maybe at least twice. So Hash says, I'm usually watching Steve from Forge Fantasy Football, but I'll pop on Sunday mornings and say what's up. Absolutely. Even if you want to say hi, we'd love to have you. And like I said, we're glad to have you with us tonight. And like I said, thanks for joining the channel. We appreciate that. So, okay, to share, I gave you Travion for my running back. Wide receiver, who do you have this week?
Wide receiver start of this week. I'm going to stay in the fire. I'm going to stay in it. I'm going to go Devontae Adams of the LA Rams against these Carolina Panthers. I know his total of 15 yards for his 5 touchdowns these last 5 games, or I think 8 touchdowns. Regardless, he's hot right now. He's got the eye of Matt Stafford. He's got the hands. I'm not scared off of Puka this week. I think he does fabulously well, finishes in the wide receiver 1 category. I got him with a ceiling of 22 points and a floor of 14. That's only with this game. If Stafford, by some meaning chance, gets Puka more involved and Kobe Parkinson vultures a touchdown, that could hinder his ceiling. But I really love what he's been able to do. I love this veteran run at wide receiver, his resurgence this season, getting out of the New York Jets and flourishing with Matt Stafford. I think he continues against the Panthers this week.
Okay, and we give the Eagles a ton of credit for like their executives, their front office, the work they did let me just say this. You got to give the Rams prop getting Devontae Adams, right?
Oh,
Like, that
yes.
was a great under key move that no one's seen coming. So we got a
Like,
few
what
more
did they give
questions.
up to get him?
Nothing. He was a free agent. He just signed.
Oh, that's right. They just peeled him in.
Yeah, but it was a great move, and it's exactly what they needed. And they upgraded from the Cooper Cup spot. So like they knew exactly what they needed to do. I'm going to give my receiver before we answer a couple more questions. I'm just going to keep it
Okay.
short and brief. You know what, me? I'm going to take a chance this week. This is like the ultimate gamble. It's hot.
Ooh.
It's hot. It's cold. But believe me, against my team, it probably will be hot because I know better than anybody. Give me Khalil Shakir, wide receiver, Buffalo Bills this week as a
I love it.
really good flex option. The Steelers get killed in the middle of the field by guys in the slot, tight ends. I mean, and the fact that Dalton Kincaid might not be available. This could be a really good game for Khalil Shakir this week. I hate to say it, but yeah, Khalil Shakir. Give me Khalil Shakir. So we have, let's see here. We got to go back. Let me just see. Got questions coming in here.
Yeah, they're flying,
So
which
we
we
have
love it,
fighting.
guys.
Fighting says, my son's league needs to flex one. Pitts, Fannin, Strange, or Mechie. So if you had to flex one, Kyle Pitts, Harold Fannin, Brenton Strange, or John Mechie, who are you flexing to share?
Wow. I don't want to be the reason why your son loses. So I'm going to go here with the guy that's got the hot hand. He's got the receiving buffet to himself. Quarterback's questionable, we'll say at the very least. Going John Mechie. He scored in back-to-back games, minimum of 3+ targets. And I think that against his Falcons, along with Breece Hall, I think points will be had. I think that the Falcons are a broken team. I know they play spunky and feisty on defense. They have a good pass defense. But in the matchups that the Jets have had, they went up against the Ravens, and I forgot who they played the week before that. But Mechie, with having the full workload, has shown up and balled out, and I respect that. So I'm going to go with John Mechie on this one.
Yeah, and there is a couple routes you could go here. And, I am a little bit intrigued to see, like, Shador Sanders coming in, too. Like, well, how will that help Harold Fannin? I think that I'm going to play Harold Fannin, believe it or not. Like,
Okay.
I think that he could
I
be a
like it.
guy. I think his floor is safer than Strange, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that there still could be a possibility of a ceiling there. So I think I would gamble Harold Fannin because, too, I think he's the best player out of this group. I really do. I think he's the
I
best
loved him in
player.
the draft process.
Yeah, it just had to end up on the Browns, which is always a scary thing, right? Always scary. But we have Ignacio, our good friend. How are you doing tonight?
Hello, Ignacio.
He says, Woody Marks, Rico, or Mechie Olave need 2 running backs and 1 flex. Thanks, bros. No, thank you, my friend. Glad to have you with us again tonight. So there you go, Teixeira. If you had to start 2 running back and 1 flex out of that group, who are you taking?
Ignacio, you got a friend in me. I'm starting with Woody Marks as one of those running backs. I'm going to start Rico Dowdle in the second running back spot. And then my flex, I'm going to go with, if Olave is out, Mechie. If Olave is in, Olave.
Yeah, I have to agree. That's exactly the route I'm going to go. We're going to go with them running backs, Rico, Woody Marks, and then Mechie if Olave's out. If Olave plays, but if Olave plays, I'm definitely going Olave.
Yep.
Definitely agree with that. So we have Lucius asking, need to start 2 half-point PPR, 1 flex and 1 receiver spot. Options are Sutton, Shakir, Judkins, or Wandale. Thanks in advance. No, thank you. We appreciate the question. So start 2. Got to remember to share. Half-point PPR makes running backs more viable. 1 flex, 1 receiver, though. You got to play 1 receiver. What are you going to do in this scenario for him?
I'm rolling with Khalil Shakir in my wide receiver spot. I think his hips won't lie this week. I think he'll get after it against that Steelers secondary. And if you've watched this channel for any bit of length, you know that Q is RB1 for you. I'm going to start Judkins in my flex.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I got to go that route as well. I think it's exactly the way I'd play it as a gamble. But man, oh man, like Sutton's a huge gamble. Wandale,
yes,
like we will see how it goes. We will see how it goes with Dak. I talked about it. Does Theo Johnson maybe get more solidified? Do they run the ball more with Tracy? There could be some more question marks there. And I do think that the matchup's good enough. I'm going to go with Judkins and Shakir as well for Lucius. So we're agreement on that. Jenner, non-fantasy comment, but as a Packer fan, it's getting hard to deal with Bears fans lately.
I hear
They're
you,
getting
Jenner.
too confident and comfortable. They aren't used to this many wins. Are the Bears for real? But there you go, Teixeira. You are a Lions fan, and you and Jenner, you guys could hang out together.
Fan. I'm a Lions fan first, and then I root for these Packers here. So blue cheese, and I will say, Jenner, these Bears fans and these Bears hypers and these Bear Glazers, they don't know how to handle wins, so much so that their coach is ripping his shirt off in post game and getting people free hot dogs. Like, what is this? Handle yourself with some grace and some class. I mean, go to the salon, paint your nails, just chill out. Like, your team's doing well. Enjoy it while it lasts. Have some dignity and move on to the next week. I mean, it's going to be cute. You'll get bounced in the first round of the playoffs. You'll have a big shocked look on your face when you get absolutely ramrodded by the Rams in the playoffs. And then you'll go back to hyping yourselves up all over again in the offseason, and the cycle will start all over again.
Just got to watch, though. I mean, the acrylic assassin. That's what we got to be careful.
Jenner, don't listen to TJ.
I love getting, you guys got to understand, the Dynasty DNA group chat. I get after Bob and Teixeira all the time. I drive them crazy. And I think it's hilarious because they're like you, Jenner. They're definitely not believing. But I will say they are getting better. One thing about the Bears, they are doing it the right way. They're running the football. They're playing defense better. That's what they have to do to be successful. Bob said it, right?
And I mentioned this to Wiz in that group chat. You will forever be linked and attached to the fact that your team's success and your team's turnaround was because of a Lions disciple. And that will forever be stained on your franchise. For better or for worse, a Lion did that. Remember that.
There you go. There you go. So, and, I said, I will give you credit on that. But we have fighting here saying, what is the breakdown of Jaden Higgins?
Well, let me say I love this guy.
Yes, this is a great question. So, we are a Dynasty podcast, and when I watched the film on Jaden Higgins, I did like the player. I said he's probably going to be at best a wide receiver 2 in fantasy, which is 24 to 36, right? He's going to be somewhere in there. That's just where I think he's going to fall for the majority of his career, but he's really coming on lately. You can still see there's growing pains. He's a young player. This offense isn't very good, but he's a guy down the stretch that, could be good for a touchdown here and there. And, if you had to play him in a spot start, he might not be the worst player in the world to play. So I like Jaden Higgins. I think that he's going to be a solid player in the league. Don't think he's going to be a superstar, but as far as a respectable good player, absolutely. Maybe like a Wan'Dale Robinson type of guy, like what we're seeing, he could be that type of player. Maybe at his best day, a Jacoby Myers, if he could get that high.
Ooh, I like that comparison.
Yeah, I think that could be Jaden Higgins. I don't know how you feel, Teixeira.
We're really spot on in our evaluation with him. I wasn't around with these guys during the pre-draft process, but I had this guy right underneath Ted McMillan in my wide receiver rankings. I liked him better than Trey Harris. I liked him better than those other wide receivers coming out. He was my second because he is like Ted McMillan 2.0. He's got the intangibles you cannot teach. He's got the size. He's got the range. He's got the talent. He's got the prototypical wide receiver 1 build. He's just in an offense that is hampering him because he's got a Nico Collins. He's got a struggling offensive line. He's got a wishy-washy run game. Woody Marks is coming on, and that's helping. And the quarterback play that is very disappointing from CJ Stroud. Still got that year 2 hangover, it feels like, or just this disconnect between him and the coaches. But I feel rest of season, Jaden Higgins is a player, a wide receiver that you can easily flex and put in there in that spot. Fill in your wide receiver 2 due to injuries if case of needed. Blow the rest of your fab on it. You got $10-15, whatever. I'm fully advocating for you to put that on him, get him on your roster, because if the Texans pick it up towards the end of the year, they're still in the playoff hunt, so they're going to be playing competitively. They're going to be playing meaningful games. And I think that he'll have opportunities in offense because he's shown in the small sample size that he can play alongside Nico Collins and be productive in an offense. And I say be productive, I mean he's at least providing you flex level numbers that you can start in your flex spot at the very least if you need to, if you don't have better options or have injuries. So in short, my breakdown of Jaden Higgins is he's a buy, he's an acquire and redraft and trade for in Dynasty. And for rest of season, he's definitely a great spot start option comparatively to other options you may or may have on waivers or on your roster.
Yeah, I agree 100%. So we like Jaden Higgins. I think that he can only get better fighting. We have hashtag Bears won't make it past second round.
Hell
But
yeah.
let me just say, if they do, the Dynasty DNA chat will be a dark place because there'll be so much stuff going on. It'll be unbelievable in there. But Inacio says, Woody or Rico, bros? Sorry, I already played Jacob. So, okay, so he's clarifying. He already played Josh Jacobs. So if you had to pick between Woody Marks and Rico Dwaddle to share, who are you picking?
My heart says Rico. My head says Woody this week. I think the matchup is better against the Colts for Woody Marks. Rico Dowdle is going up against an absolute brick house in the Rams defense. I know they're playing at home. I love Rico Dowdle. Maybe in your matchup, if you projected like 12 plus, like you've got the win in hand and you want to stick with your guy, roll with Rico. But in a close matchup, or you're down, or you're maybe like a little bit above, I think the safest option is Woody Marks.
Okay, so I agree, and it kills me too because I love Woody Marks. I love Rico Dwaddle, but I think I got to play Woody this week. Fighting says here, last one, Michael Wilson or Tet McMillan to share. Who are you putting in your lineup this week out of them two?
All right. With Marvin Harrison Jr. playing this week, I'm going King Ted over Michael Wilson. I think that Ted McMillan will have the volume regardless. I think he'll have the opportunities if they get in close. And I think he's the absolute de facto player that you need to keep in your lineup if you're choosing between the two of those guys, because he can been consistent all year long, and he's shown us a couple boom games these last couple weeks. And I think that I like his chances. The Carolina's going to have to throw the ball a lot. And I know the Cardinals are hot, and I'm high on Wilson, but I'm higher on Tet.
Yeah, I have to agree. It's so hard to take Tet out of my line. I mean, that guy, the fact that he's doing what he's doing with Bryce Young, and two, like I said, we'll see. I mean, I love Michael Wilson. I love what he's doing, but, can he keep it going? And what happens when Marv does get back, right? So that is something we got to look at. So give me Tet. I think it's just more reliable. I think that he's just that guaranteed 12-point guy with the possibility of more. Jenner says, I feel like I have it worse than you. I live close to the border. I'm in the Kenosha
I know area. Very well where that is. And I'm the opposite. I get the Vikings of it. You get the Bears side of it. I get the Vikings side of it. So
yeah, the Bears are fool's gold, in my opinion. I don't trust their DNA.
I love the pun there in their DNA, TJ.
I got you. Fighting says, okay, then flex Jaden Higgins or Fannin this week. So who do you feel better about? Because these are two young guys we like.
Oh man, give me Jaden Higgins. I can trust the quarterback play a little bit more with either Stroud or Mills to Higgins than I do Shador to Fan. I don't know the connection there. I don't know the chemistry yet. I don't know what side of ball Shador is going to be playing in a bad weather game against the 49ers defense. I like Fannin, TJ. I would love to pick him here, but it's just the variables of I don't know what sort of offense they're going to roll out there on Sunday. And I think that a floor of 10 points is more realistic for Higgins than Fannin, unless if it's tight end premium. I give the edge to Fannin, but if not, I'm going Higgins.
Yeah, and look, I don't blame you. The matchup's better, like you said. You trust the quarterback play, but I can see both of these guys getting 10 to 12 points, right? I really could. And if they get both that, I wouldn't be surprised. But I'm like you. Give me Higgins, quarterback play a little bit more trustworthy, matchup a little bit better. I think I would go that route too. And he's been seeing the end zone, which is a good sign, right? I mean, that's something we don't want to count on all the time, but he has been finding the paint. So Jason says, start 3. One must be a wide receiver at least. So we have Sutton, Scary Terry, Kyron, Tracy, Neal, Vidal, need upside. So, okay, he's chasing points. So one must be a wide receiver. But let me just say this. I am definitely starting Kyron, and I'm definitely going to go with Tyrone Tracy.
Okay.
I mean, flat out, like these guys, Tracy's going to see a ton of volume in that
Yep.
backfield, good, bad, or indifferently. Kyron Williams is a stud. There's a stupid update on my computer, guys. We get that weekly. Just ignore the man behind the curtain. But let me just say this. Kyron's your stud. You got to play him. He could be go off for 30 points. He's got to be in my lineup, especially if I'm looking at upside. Tyrone Tracy's going to touch the ball a lot. And then if I have to start one receiver, I think that I'm going to start probably Scary Terry if he's available. Yep. We're talking about upside. I mean, he's a guy that can provide it. So I don't know how you feel, Teixeira. Are you on the same page with me?
Yes, exactly. I'm too scared off of Sutton, but I'm not scared of Scary Terry because we've seen him when he's been healthy this year. He's gotten those big bomb deep ball plays and those big splash upside plays, and that's what you really need. Is you just need Mariota to find him once on a 60-yard catch into the end zone, 12-point play. Beautiful. With Sutton, I think that's going to be short, chunky, high reception volume, maybe get in the end zone if they get in close, but I'm just out on this Denver. I don't feel warm and fuzzy about going into any of my matchups being like, yeah, I need Bo Nix to do this. I need Harvey to do that. I need Sutton to do this. Even with the Commanders matchup, I go with Terry, Kyron, and Tracy.
We're on the same page. Next one he has is start 4. 2 must be running backs at least.
Yep.
Jenny, Cook, Rico, Jalen Warren, Pittman, Shakir need upside. So you got to start 4. 2 must be running backs. So let me just say that. I'm going to definitely start James Cook. And if I'm looking for upside, I'm probably going to play Jalen Warren in hopes that he can do a little bit of something, get a little bit more. Like he's got a floor like the passing upside, but he can definitely visit the end zone too. So I think I'm going to go James Cook and Jalen Warren if I have to play 2 running backs. And then if I'm going with the other 2, I need upside. I'm definitely playing Khalil Shakir. And then if I'm gonna go upside, man, I mean Michael Pittman, I love him, but I mean this injury with Daniel Jones, like you said, what's going to happen there? Houston's defense is tough. I think that if I had to go upside, I hate to say it, but maybe I'll try Ashton Jenney. I don't know. I mean, I think I might try it. I mean, if we need upside, he's a guy that should see the ball a lot. So whether he does something with it or not, I think I'm going to go Khalil Shakir, Ashton Jenney, Jalen Warren, James Cook. That's what I'm going to do.
Whew. Slim's rubbing off on you, TJ.
The matchup's too tough for Rico, man. It's killing me. I mean, it's just too tough.
I think I'm sticking with my pair of socks over Genty. I think I'm going to risk it with Rico. All the ones that we've said, Cook, Warren, Shakir, and I'm going Rico instead of Genty just because Chargers coming off a bye, really one-dimensional for the Raiders, not being able to throw the ball consistently enough or effectively. I think they can stack the box, keep Genty in close, unless if he, like he did last week, bust off a short, close to the goal line receiving or rushing touchdown. That's where he's going to feast. But I like the volume of Rico, and I don't trust Genty enough. I trust Rico more. I'll roll and I'll take the floor of Rico over whatever ceiling of Genty, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. But like Cleveland was a tough matchup last week. He was running back 4, right?
Oh.
Like my thing is like if you're chasing upside, you know what I'm saying? Like this guy's talented. It's definitely the Raiders that are screwing him over. But it's like, man, oh man, it's like, do they get something going again? That's just my only thing. Like, did they figure something out to get him going? And
I will argue for Rico, though, that the Panthers, if they're smart, have realized they need to get Rico going and get him the ball if they want to be effective to win the game.
Right.
Because when they took it out of his hands last game, we saw what happened. They got cute Hubbard and this other stuff and didn't turn out so good for them.
Yeah, for sure. So we have Jason asking, do you start defenses against your own players? For example, I have Jenny and the Chargers D. Is good this week? Should I have them? Should I avoid that? Or does it matter? Dolphins and 49ers D. So, okay, if you had Jenny and you played them, would you still start the Chargers to share? Or do you think that you would maybe pivot and try to go for the 49ers or Dolphins there?
No, traditionally, when I'm in leagues with defenses, I do not start my defenses with my stud players. I'll consider it a stud, like your starter players on offense, because you're very capping your ceiling for your projected outcome finishes. Because if Genty gets you 12 to 16 points, which I think he's projected for, that leaves you probably 4 to 6 points for your defense, because if he's being successful, that means your defense is not getting turnovers, it's not holding them under the yardage, and the point total is probably going to be 14 to 21, and then at that point you've already lost 7 because of the points scored. So if we lean in the sentiment, we're going Genty in this matchup, you're going with Genty, I would pivot to the 49ers defense against Cleveland. Bad weather game, more probability for turnovers and mistakes, and a very low scoring. I'd probably go the under. I don't know what it is off the top of my head. So that'd be the safer, better option for me. But if you don't do Genty and you just say you do Rico, then I'd play the Chargers defense, because then you're not handcuffing your fantasy output.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I'm going to go with the 49ers. If they're available or you have them, that's who I'm playing this week, because they could get a lot of turnovers, too, against this Browns team.
Mm-hmm.
Possibility is high of that, and I don't think that Cleveland's going to drop a bunch of points on them either. Jenner says, I think I trust the Cowgirls more than the Bears. Pickens might have been the gem of the offseason right there with Adams. Cowboys' offense is dangerous. Their defense is stirring up shape. Yeah, I mean, that's definitely been a good move, too. Jason says, in case Tyler Warren misses, which tight end is the best this week? Theo, A.J. Barner, Dalton Schultz, or Evan Ingram? So if Tyler Warren is out for Jason, who are you playing, Teixeira?
Give me, for the ones in the back, Theo.
That's right. That's it, man. That's just like, everyone says, where'd you get that? It's off Austin Powers. Remember Dr. Evil with Leo DiCaprio? Yeah, so I guess I'll have the mini TJ, but I guess Theo. That's definitely it, man. Theo Johnson, I'm with you. Give me Theo this week. I mean, this has been a disaster for Evan Ingram. We're starting to see the Texans getting, like we talked about, Jaden Higgins going a little bit. Who plays at quarterback?
And that hurts Schultz with Jaden going.
Yeah. A.J. Barner, I mean, is a guy that's a touchdown or bust. I think Theo is a guy that could do it off volume for you. So that's who I'm going to go with for sure.
I love if we got a sounder for Theo. That'd be great. Just isolated, just Theo.
Yeah, I got to get that on the mixer. I'll try to get that on there somehow. So we're going to go for tight ends. Tight end, you're going to start here this week. Who do you have?
Give me Theo. That's for okay, that was for answering his question. My tight end star of the week, all reliable for New England. Give me Hunter Henry. I got him over for 40 yards receiving, over 6 receptions this week, and I'm feeling a little bit spicy. I think the receiving options between Booty, Douglas, and Diggs, I like those guys, but I like Drake May and his connection with Henry even more. So give me the touchdown going to him. I got a ceiling for our guy this week, TJ, 20 points and a floor of 14. I think that Hunter Henry is going to show Theo Johnson how it's done. Been there, done that. I think Theo is still going to have a good game, but I think Henry is going to have the better game and the higher ceiling in this matchup. I think if Travion Henderson is pounding the ball like you have for your running back start of the week, I think through the air, all reliable Mr. Safety blanket for Drake May be Hunter Henry. Give me Hunter Henry for my tight end star of the week.
I like the call. I think it's a good one. I will go with Theo because that's who I had.
I saw him look in your eyes like, shit.
Yeah, I know. You stole my guy from me, but now Hunter Henry's a great choice too. I mean, he's just a guy, like you said, old, reliable, and it's hard to take him out of your lineup. Theo for me, Hunter Henry for you. Let's go over to the dreaded sit category for Week 13. Ooh. Yes, that button comes out whenever we talk about the dreaded. Here you go, Teixeira. Quarterback, you're going to be sitting here in Week 13. Who is it?
I know for this matchup here, you got Scary Terry's back. Debo's going to be manufactured touch. You always got Zach Ertz able to get into the end zone. This running game is wishy-washy. I'm sitting Marcus Mariota. I know they got to have some sort of offense on that team, get something going, but I think that the Denver defense is one you don't play around with, one you can't overthink and overplay in matchups, and they shut down the passing game for a lot of teams. I mean, look, they made Patrick Mahomes look human again this year. So I'm going to sit Marcus Mariota. I have a ceiling of 16 points from him, and I got a floor of 10. I think he's going to get it through just passing volume to have to pass a lot, so like 30, 40 attempts. And I think he gets there to about 200, 250 yards. But outside of that, I don't see him getting more than a touchdown through the air. If he's lucky, he gets one on the ground, and that's just a fluky, like they're in close, a tush push or a QB sneak or whatever, But in 2 quarterback leagues and super flexes, I'm not even messing around with that. I'll pivot somewhere else and go that route. And I'm certainly not starting him in 1 quarterback leagues.
Yeah, and I tend to agree with you. My quarterback sit is going to be a guy that is injured. What's going to happen, even if he plays? I think it's the worst thing possible where they're at right now. Daniel Jones. Indiana Jones going up against the Houston Texans, even if he plays, I mean, it'd be terrible sitting him out because he's played so well for the majority part.
Mm-hmm.
But, man, this is a tough matchup coming off injury. I just don't like it. It's a division game. If I had one for sure bet, I'd like to see what the under is in that game. I'd probably take the under on the points.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't have a good feeling about that. So I'm going to sit Daniel Jones. To share, let's go to the running back pool. Running back, you're going to be sitting here for week 13. Who do you have?
I am going to go with the man on the wall. I don't feel good about it. It breaks my heart. It hurts me, but I am sitting Aaron Jones Sr. this week, going up against that Seattle defense on the road. Vikings are really looking broken and just schlacked on offense. They can't get anything going. And if Justin Jefferson isn't flourishing in that offense, I certainly don't think that Aaron Jones is going to be able to save them behind that offensive line. They got a rookie quarterback making his first start. I mean, I got a floor just because I love the man. I'm going to give him a floor of 11 points and a ceiling of 11 points and a floor of 7. This Seattle defense is for real. It's legitimate. And I see this game going a lot like that Cardinals game went, where they just got a couple early defensive turnovers right away, put the score up on them. And I think the Vikings playing from behind, it's not a good recipe having a running back starting your fantasy lineups from the Minnesota Vikings. And for that, I'm sorry, Aaron Jones. I love you, but you're sitting on my bench this week.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. It really is. And I mean, we love Aaron Jones, but man, this whole Vikings team, like you said, when Justin Jefferson isn't, sufficient, that's really bad. I mean, that's the bottom of the barrel. You can't get him going. You're in real bad shape. So, yes, I'm staying away from a lot of Vikings as well. My running back sit here for this week's going to be the entire Washington Commanders backfield, right? I just don't have a great feeling about them. Now, I mean, if I had to play one of them, I still think there could be, like, when we talked about Rodriguez, I think 10, 12 points is entirely possible. But I think that you're just – I hate going into games where you're so capped, right, sometimes. I really do. I don't have a great feeling about that. And JCM's a guy that's just dead to me. I can't play him anymore. And this Denver defense, I mean, this is the one thing they have that's super legit, right? So I think I'm going to go away from that direction. Wide receiver sit for week 13, Teixeira. Who do you have?
For me, this is satisfying for me because I got out of him in Dynasty. I sold all my shares out of him everywhere I had him. In redraft, I avoided drafting him to the behest of a few of our cohorts here on the network. They're really into this guy, but I'm sitting down Slick Ricky Pearsall, going up against that Cleveland defense on the road, bad weather game, Brock Purdy. I'm just not liking it. I'll give him the benefit doubt of having a ceiling of 10 points, thinking that he gets some, if it's a full PPR league, probably 5 or 6 receptions, maybe gets you around 40, 50 yards. That's cute, but I don't see him finding his way into the end zone this week. I think Kittle's more likely to do that. Juwan Jennings, somewhere else like that. And I think his floor is probably like 5 or 6. I've just been out on this guy for a while, and I just feel satisfied being able to put him as my sit of the week because I'm just not in on him.
Yeah, and that kills Wiz and Big Culture Bob, no doubt about it. But we'll see. We're hoping maybe we see something out of him down the stretch, get something going a little bit. This one's one of my personal favorites, and it kills me. You brought up Aaron Jones. I'm going to do the same thing. Jordan Addison, Minnesota Vikings. I mean, all I got to say is Mac Brosmer or whatever the hell his name
Max
is. That's
Brosmer.
all. Max Brosmer. That's all I have to say. It gone from maybe bad to worse for the Minnesota Vikings. And man, oh man, an offense that has so much talent. It's so hard to sit these players. But I mean, look, he goosed us last week. I mean, that is so un Jordan Addison like, right? It just, I mean, it's terrible, and it might be going from bad to worse. So yes, I'm going to stay away from anything Minnesota Vikings. I'm going to stay away from Jordan Addison as much as it pains me, and I love the player personally. To share a tight end sit, who do you have for Week 13?
This one, I really at the beginning of the year had faith it would be, all wheels up and good to go in that offense, but I'm out on Evan Ingram at Washington this week. I just don't think he has it at the tight end position. I know it's a juicy matchup going against those Commanders. I just feel like he's the odd man out there. I got a ceiling of 10 points for him. Again, a lot of these guys on my sits, the ceiling is just getting into double digits, and the floor I have of 6 points for him. I think that he's just the odd man out. I don't think he's systemed into this right now, and Sean Payton has the ball going in other places, and the inconsistent quarterback play, like Bob said it perfectly, it's just a yo-yo game here with Bo Nix at quarterback. You don't know which one we're going to get. When he's hot, and that's awesome. When he's bad, it's awful. And I'm out on the Evan Ingram thing this week. I just don't think it's happening, and you should definitely pivot to other tight end options if you can.
Yep, and that was one that, boy, we were hoping for big things when he landed there. It's been a nightmare, and really, like we talked about, the yo-yo is the perfect way to describe this team, no doubt about it. So my tight end sit here is going to be going with a guy that's old reliable, but boy, oh boy, I don't like what he's got going on this week. It's going to be Zach Ertz going up against the Denver Broncos. I mean, he's just averaged 7.2 fantasy points per game in 5 games he played with Marcus Mariota this season. Not good. Then you're going against the Denver Broncos, who've just been shutting down everything on defense. You look at it, it's red across the board. And, man, this Commanders team, I mean, you play Terry McLaurin for a shot at maybe a big player too. I don't mind that. Deebo Samuel's a guy that I think's safe floor because just all the manufactured touches he can accumulate. But, man, Ertz, it's going to be a touchdown or bust, and I just don't see them moving the ball that much. I really don't. So I'm going to sit down Zach Ertz, stay away from him. But Teixeira, the Dabble Fantasy Start of the Week, the Dabble Fantasy Sit of the Week, brought to you by Dabble Fantasy. We all know Dabble Fantasy sponsors Dynasty DNA. So I'll let you do the honors. Your Dabble Fantasy Start of the Week. Who do you have for us this week? Go ahead.
If there is one man that I can confidently put my $10 down, which I don't typically do, as we know, I am going to put it on Jackson Smith-Njigba this week. I think he's going to hit the 30 burger, my friends. I think he's going to get to that mark here in Fantasy Forest. That is his ceiling. I'm going to give a 30 burger, and his floor is 20 points. Sam Darnold's top target. He's eclipsing that 100-yard mark, I think, damn near every single game so far. And I think he's going to push for that Calvin Johnson record by the end of the season as far as yardage in a season. I got him going over 100 yards this week. I got him going for multiple touchdowns. And I think if you got him, you're just straight to the moon. Happy, joy. Happy, joy. Jackson Smith-Njigba to the moon. Put him in your lineups for Dabble Fantasy Start of the Week.
And I like the Ren and Stimpy there. I really like that.
Yep.
That was back in the day. Some of our listeners might not know, but I bet a lot do. So to share, I like the happy, joy call there. So let me just say this. My Dabble Fantasy Start of the Week is a guy that I really like as far as he's come on so strong these last 4 games in a great matchup yet again. Give me Travis Etienne of the Jacksonville Jaguars going up against the Tennessee Titans. Look, I mean, you got to like what Etienne's doing. Running back 12, running back 13, running back 11, running back 7 the last 4 weeks. Been really good. Been the heart of this offense, really. And I just don't see them getting away from him in a game like this, a division game. And if he visits the paint, he'll be up there yet again. So give me Travis Etienne. I think you could hit 20 points again this week and kind of do it for the 4th, 5th week in a row here. So give me Travis Etienne. I like the Jacksonville Jaguars, even though, Bob says they don't have a plan. I love Brian Thomas. Me and him, we're best friends. Travis Etienne, I like him as well. Bob, even though Bob says they don't have a plan, I still, they're friends of mine. I can't just throw them under them. Now Jacoby Myers is there, so you know how that
Yeah.
goes. So here we go, Teixeira. Let's go to the underdog, or let's go to the Dabble Fantasy Sit of the Week. You got first crack at it here. Who's your Dabble Fantasy Sit of the Week? I can't wait to see who you have.
You're going to love it. This is a hot take one, maybe, just because of the polarizing controversy between this player so far up to the season. But like we've talked about it at plenty this night about the weather, the over-under of the game, just the sheer surrounding pieces of it. My Dabble Fantasy Sit of the Week is Shedeur Sanders. I'm going to just give you guys a temper expectations. He had a great first start. It was the Las Vegas Raiders, everybody. Whoopity-doo. Now he's going up against the San Francisco 49ers, yes, at home. But let's just see if he turns into like a Tua Tagovailoa and the cold weather hurts his style of play, or if he's going to be like a Brett Favre and overcome the cold temperatures and the nastiness and be able to outgrow the pumpkin. But I think that pivot him out of your lineups. Don't be all blinded by the flash. I have a ceiling for him of 16 points and a floor of 10. And I just think that you have better options to do at your quarterback position in Superflex and in one quarterback leagues, and just be a little bit more patient. Let's get more of a sample size before we can either call him a dud or anoint him as the next hype quarterback behind. So that's my Dabble Fantasy Sit of the Week is Shedeur Sanders.
Okay, and I think it's a good one. We have Jacob asking Flex Shakir, Neil, or Tracy PPR. So if you had to flex one, full PPR, where are you going, Teixeira?
I like Shakir this week. I think I'm going to go Shakir just because it's full PPR. Not sure those running backs. Yes, they might get volume in the running game, but in the passing game, just out on it comparatively to Shakir.
Yeah, I'm with you. I go Khalil Shakir too. As I said it, these guys, these slot guys, these middle crossers, people like that can kill the Steelers. The Bills really don't have a ton of passing options. So I just feel like, yeah, this could be a game where we're walking into a big Khalil Shakir game. And we got to watch what happens to Dalton Kincaid too. If Dalton Kincaid's out, it could even get even worse. So, yes, I think I'm going to go with Khalil Shakir. I think he could have and it's full PPR, right? So, I mean, we'll go for them PPR points. I think I got to go that route and see what happens. But I still think that Neil and Tracy could be a good floor play, but I just think there's more of a ceiling possibility with Shakir.
Yeah.
That I
like you said, the Bills could be playing angry, and Allen could definitely just sling that football along.
Yeah, I definitely could. So my Dabble Fantasy Sit of the Week is going to be a guy that's been playing a lot better. I hate to do it to him, but man, oh man, I don't care. He's playing one of the toughest defenses in the league, if not the toughest. Give me Bryce Young, Dabble Fantasy Sit of the Week this week. I love the guy. I love what he's done for Ted McMillan. I'm just happy to see that he's playing okay, right? And he's doing better. But I just don't think that it's going to amount to much this week. Unfortunately, I still think Tet's that guy can anytime get you 12 points. But for Bryce's shares, I just don't think he's going to be able to do that much in a game like this. Unfortunately, and there's teams that probably have to count on him in Superflex or even one quarterback if you have injuries. So that's just a tough spot to be in. But what a great episode. Appreciate you guys' support as always. Let me say this. Thank you, new subscribers, anyone like that. We appreciate it. Thank you. If you want to check out the Dynasty DNA Morning Show, we'll be here at 11 a.m. tomorrow. If you want to ask more questions, just talk about the Week 13 matchups in general, anything NFL, fantasy football, will be there. Trade questions. We didn't have any trade questions tonight, which is a surprise.
Bring it to us tomorrow morning.
That's right. Get some trade questions for the Dynasty DNA Morning Show. And then we're going to have Big Culture Bob on Sunday night for the Culture Shock. No, thank you, Jenner. Appreciate you tuning in with us. Hope you have a great weekend. Good luck, and we hope you get a big W. Yeah, that's right. You and Teixeira on the anti-Bear bandwagon. We love it. And, don't worry, Jenner. You could ask, how it's going in the Dynasty DNA text when I give Teixeira and Bob a hard time. When the Bears lose, they'll be all over me. I know it, so I'm just waiting for that. But let me say this. If you guys are enjoying the content, you want to see more of it, listen to more of the shows, go over to Spotify, Apple Pod, Stitcher, Amazon, any of the big podcasting platforms, and you haven't yet, please go over there, check it out. Follow 5-star the show. That greatly helps. We really appreciate it. Love to have you with us over there. We put out 4 or 5 shows a week.
Comments too on the episodes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, comments have been great over there. Come join us. It's been great. Love to have you over there. Obviously, if you haven't subscribed to YouTube, do that. We'd love to have you permanently here with us when you get time to come in and chat. And check out the Facebook page, Dynasty DNA Fantasy Football Podcast Network. Tashara's done a great job over there. You guys got to check that out. If you haven't joined it, ask for a link. We can send that over. Always you're posting good stuff over there, man. It's like a treasure trove of fantasy information, and our Twitter page, Dynasty DNA _ You can follow us there. Look, I know I speak for Tashara, everybody here at the Dynasty DNA Network. We say we hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend ahead of you. Good luck in all your matchups tomorrow, week 10, and we'll see you guys on the next episode. That's right, week 13. That's right. Thank you, Tashara. I appreciate it. But we'll see you all on the next episode of